Hello! Today we are going to be learning some baking tips. No, not cupcakes, makeup. So I'm super excited to show you guys how to bake and to kind of explain why you bake. So let's get started. First, I have my foundation already on. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I'm using the shade Scarlet, and this is by Younique. And I'm just using a concealer brush. This is a MAC 242. We're just gonna apply that. I just like to apply with a brush. You can definitely apply with your finger if you like, and the heat from your finger will kind of smooth that around. I just prefer to use a brush because I don't like to touch my skin with my finger more than I already do. So you're just gonna kind of fill that in with your concealer. I like to drag mine down the side of my nose a little too. Why do you want to bake? So this is not something you're gonna be doing if you're like in a hurry. This is not your 5-minute makeup routine. This is something for if you're gonna be having your photo taken and you wanna look super good, or you need your makeup to last all day long. Like, this is how you do it. I don't actually do baking on a normal basis. If I'm just going to work or something that day. If I have the time, I will, but if I'm running short on time, like, this is where I skip. Okay. So once we have that on, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit more. Why not? We have the product, so I'll just show you what I would normally do with my concealer. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I'm just glad to be here with you guys today, I guess. A little down here. Just gonna wipe the rest of that off on my hands so that way we don't make a mess. So now I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender, and you wanna use a damp one because you do not want to be taking all the product off that you just put on. I mean, you wanna take off the excess, but not all of it. And you just blend that out. Nice and smooth. Okay, once that's all blended out, you just want to make sure there's no creasing in your fine lines before you add the powder. So I'm just taking some translucent setting powder. This is by Younique. And using that damp beauty blender. actually. I think I'm going to switch to a brush. Just a little easier for me to get in this container. And you want to really pack that on, you guys. We're not blending it out. We're just packing it on right now. Like a good, thick layer. So, why do we bake? Well, baking is going to help give you that flawless kind of airbrush look. It's going to take away the appearance of those pores. So you could definitely bake most of your face if you wanted to. It is a very drying process. So if you have dry skin, you want to make sure you're using a beauty oil. Underneath, like with your beauty routine, with your moisturizer, that's going to help, like an eye cream, anything like that. I am setting my forehead just because I have large pores and wrinkles from scrunching up my forehead. So I'm going to go ahead and bake that. Okay, so you can see, like, this is a full-on baked face. Like, it's really, really heavy. You're not going to leave it like that, and you're like, whoa, this is a lot of makeup. Like, that is not. Trust me, this is just the process. We will take, like, most of that off. So the reason you want to bake, you want your skin to look flawless. You want it to have that smooth appearance. You want to make that shit bulletproof. Like, you don't want it to go anywhere. That is why we are baking. We want to take away the look of the pores on the skin and just look smooth. So, once it's applied, you're going to want to, I don't know why I'm doing this so much, like talking with my hands. You're going to want to apply that and let it sit for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I also like to go on the bottom of my jawline and do that. So I'm going to show you, I like to do my contour first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while this is baking. The reason they call it baking is because the heat from your body temperature actually creeps up, and the powder, in between the powder and your skin is your concealer. So it's literally baking your concealer. It's pretty cool, you guys. So for my contour, I'm going to start like at the top of my ear and just bring that line down my jawbone. Same thing on the other side. Start at the top of the ear. And I just like to really angle that down, really chisel out those cheekbones. And then to kind of bring the light in, I do have a larger forehead. So if you do not have a large forehead, I would skip this step because it's just kind of unnecessary for you. I feel like mine's kind of larger, so I just like to kind of bring it in to where the focal is, right where that brightness is. But if you feel like you have no forehead, then just skip this. The thing about makeup is, you guys, you're enhancing your natural beauty. So if it doesn't work for you, just because some beauty blogger said to do it, don't do that. Like, do you, do what works for your face. Find the tips and tricks that work on your shape and your skin. if there's anything I want my followers to know, I want them to know, like, you don't have to do it like me to look good. Like, a little extra tidbit in there for you. Okay. Just take a little more, contour my nose a little. Okay, now that I have that in, I'm gonna go in and just clean up that line. And you're just tapping it in. You guys, this is just gonna give us that really chiseled out cheekbones and jawline. Okay. So now, cheers to baking. So, in the kitchen you would normally have, you know, like wine or something, I'm sure. So, while that's still baking, I'm just gonna go in with my beauty blender on my contour and just kind of blend that out. You don't want to see a harsh line. You just want the shadow of the depth for you. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that baking was actually created by drag queens to help their makeup stay all day and like just never move. I'm not sure the history of that. It kind of makes me want to look it up just because I'm curious like that sometimes. Okay, so I'm just gonna give that a few more minutes to bake, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go in with my blush. Let's see, what do I want to use? I'm just gonna use like this soft pink and just a blush brush. Now, I know a lot of times people are like, oh, like go in on the apple of your cheek and just, you know, but sometimes you can kind of look like a clown if you do that, and you don't want that. So what I like to do is just kind of smile, see where that apple is, and then go right in between that and that contour. And if you're getting some of that powder off, it is okay. Don't worry about that. Okay, now that we're done baking, I'm just gonna go in with this fluffy brush and just dust excess away. Can you guys see the difference? Like, look how smooth that is. It's just like airbrushed, you guys. It's like flawless. So I'm just gonna dust that off there. But it helps keep it nice and bright, and that is what I love. Like, takes away those pores, makes it nice and smooth. Just dusting that away. And brightening up that jawline. Now that I've done that, I just like to go in and just tap my blush up a little bit more. And that is how you bake, guys. Now, if you feel like you still have too harsh of a line, you can just kind of take your powder brush and just kind of go over that. I always like to do that just to kind of soften everything back up after I've contoured and highlighted it. Now you can take your highlighter and just go in. If you're somebody with oily skin, you don't need to do your chin. I wouldn't recommend it if you suffer with oily problems already. The Cupid's bow. And then just like right here, you guys. Maybe right above the brow to kind of bring that up a little. And that is how we bake. So if you're wanting that flawless, like no pore, just gorgeous look, then bake your concealer. If you're just like everyday, hanging out, not a big deal, don't worry about it. Forget it. Like, baking is a process, so it's something you definitely need to add time into your beauty routine for if you want it every day. But if it's not an everyday thing, like, just use it when you're going out. Just use it for photos. Just have fun with it. Again, if you are baking, it can be pretty drying because you are putting that heavy powder on there. So just use some kind of oil. I just use Younique's Uplifting Serum and just kind of put that in under my eyes and work that in before I put my makeup on and before I apply my primer. But that, you guys, is baking 101. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, if you liked it, let me know below so I can kind of get some feedback. And if you want to see more tips and tricks, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.